Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Hey everyone. 1 second. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, guys. So sorry about that. But great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl Erica Wilson that it had to happen for our Thursday night spotlight. And my goodness, I had the chance to meet this young man maybe I wouldn't even say a month ago. And just in conversation, hearing a little piece of his story, I was like, oh my God, you should be on my show. And it's so I'm so honored to have him here tonight because man, is this a treat because it hit home for me because I'm a single mother, right? And tonight's topic is the life of a single father. And hearing his story, just seeing how he light up when he talk about his daughter, that really, really touched me. And I'm telling amazing. Just wait till you hear him tonight. But he was born and raised in Philadelphia, right? And at the age of 19, he became a father. However, before in his childhood, he grew up in the foster home. And but here it is later on in life, not even knowing that he was going to become a single father. But if you want to know how, you have to stick with us throughout this show, and you will hear from the Lewis Banks. So let me introduce to some and present to others the amazing Lewis Banks. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good evening, Erica. Good evening. How are you?
I am awesome. It's so great to see you again, in the different circumstances. And I'm honored tonight to have you here with me, sharing your story, the life of a single father.
Absolutely. You look beautiful like you always do. Thank you for having me this evening.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you most welcome. So if you can you tell the audience a little bit about who is Lewis?
So, I'm from Philadelphia, like you previously mentioned, born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Um, I was young. I grew up in the system. My dad was arrested for manslaughter. He killed somebody when I was like 9 years old, and I went to foster care. I lived in foster care, um, pretty much until I was 19. And I went through juvenile treatment facilities and all kind of stuff and struggled and a lot of stuff. I missed out on a lot of stuff, a lot of activities, a lot of sports, school events. I was in juvenile lockdown detention and all kind of stuff. So I had my daughter when I was 19. The first thing I got out, I was like super excited because I envisioned having a family because I spent so much time being locked up. I was in like 23 and 1 for juveniles, which is like, for juveniles that, done did a lot of bad things. So the system just got tired of me, and they really just locked me, threw away the key, so to speak. I was in Oklahoma and 23 and 1 all day, just 23 hours and one hour out the cell. That's kind of crazy for a juvenile, you know what I'm saying? So like with those chances, it was kind of, I was dealt a real short hand. It was like, hey, we could care less if you go to prison when you get out. So when I got out, I was just like, man, I just want a family. I want a family super bad. So I kind of created a family.
Oh my God. Now, see, that's part I did not know. Uh, and I'm a little choked up because hearing what you were saying, because you were saying 23 and 1, and I'm like, what is that? I didn't really understand what exactly you were meaning by that. But after continue knowing your story, I caught on then. Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Let's take us back. Oh my God. You said dad went in prison for manslaughter when you were
Correct.
how old?
I was 9 years old, I believe I was 9.
And you were 9. So you
Hmm.
end up in the system,
Yep.
and here it is. Now you're getting in trouble, and you're going in and out of juvenile detention
Exactly.
center.
Exactly.
And take us from there.
So me and my siblings, I have an older sister, who's 2 years older than me, a younger brother who's 2 years younger than me, and another brother who's 4 years younger than me. He's the baby. And we all were put in the system. My mother started doing drugs. When my dad got arrested, things kind of got real bad. She started doing drugs. She started drinking, started hanging out late, started, binging. She wouldn't come home. So we kind of went with our aunt first, with our aunt, and she tried to help. She tried to help raise us, but she had kids of her own, so it was a lot. And like when I was young, I kind of like when I got into foster care, I kind of despised her for it. Like why you couldn't help us, you know, why you couldn't get us. And and then just as I grew older, I kind of recognized that she had a lot. You know, that's not only did she have to take her kids to school and get them taken care of. Now you have four other children from the mother that's not being responsible, that's not taking care of her duties. So um, I came to realize that it wasn't her fault at all, but the responsibility lies on my mother. But yeah, my mother was addicted to addicted to drugs as well. So that's kind of how we actually ended up going into foster care. Um, so and during that time frame, I just through a lot of pain and dealing with not doing right things. I started doing just about everything as a young age. I started robbing people, breaking into houses, stealing cars. I mean, Philly is a very dangerous city. It's one of the most dangerous cities. So like being young, not having no one to kind of look up to, and not really having a family, I kind of went to the streets and like anything I did is sell drugs, try to bootleg CDs back in the days, all kind of crazy stuff. But it just kept getting up. I kept getting arrested as a juvenile, and eventually I got put in a detention center. And then during that time frame in the detention center, I wound up hurting somebody bad, a CO, and I got put to a lockdown. Like I said, 23 hours locked down in a cell, 1 hour out, and I stayed there for almost 6 years straight.
Louis, you really?
Yeah, crazy,
Oh my.
crazy. I learned a lot though, got to read books. Had a lot of, it could have been negative. It could have all been negative, but God, I read the Bible. I learned the Bible. I started reading books, National Geographic. I tried to educate myself. There was a lot of things I did doing art. That's a lot of time to make up. So I just started doing, things that made me happy instead of sulking and blaming the world and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I have, you would never know. Most people never know when they see me. They would
Mhm.
never imagine, but you know, I move on from it. I've been blessed. I'm super blessed.
Oh
God
my
bless me.
God. Yes, I must say so. Like I said, just, when you were here at my home and we were just talking and in conversation, I told you I always picked up a good spirit from you, right? And but the thing is, being brought up in the foster care and then having to deal with the issues that your mom had, and then to say, I know that it was a lot that she was dealing with,
Right,
that is something to say, because some kids will be so mad at their mother, right?
right,
And some kids will want to just blame what they're doing on their mother. But you
absolutely.
understood that it was a sickness, like something that she was dealing with herself. So, in order for you to move on and get healed, you had to first forgive her, which you did, because that's what you said. You said that
Exactly.
you understood. However, by this time, you were saying that you were doing a couple of things. You were out in the street, and then it landed you in the juvenile detention center. And then you say you heard a CO. A CO is a officer, correct?
Yeah, yeah. CEO was an officer, correct.
Oh my God! And how old were you when that transpired,
I think I was 14 at the time.
Louis? Really?
Yeah, yeah. So like you get when you're young, you kind of do a lot of foolish things, immaturity, being an adolescent, and I was involved I was in a little gang. The three of us, we kind of jumped this dude real bad, broke his knee, and that's when I got sentenced for my juvenile. So
Now, was it just you received this sentence, since it was three of you all who did?
all three of us received a sentence, and it's kind of crazy because the other two young men, unfortunately, God rest their soul, they're not here with us today. They passed. It's kind of crazy because they were handed a lesser sentence because they didn't actually do the most damage to the CO. So they was handed a lesser sentence. But I think God really, God has a way. God really has His reasons for doing things. And a lot of times we don't understand. We don't, we don't really understand everything. But yeah, definitely, those other two young men passed away that same summer when I was handed my sentence was the longest one. But you know. First, I
Well,
was sad about it and, cried. But in reality, I think sometimes God really saved me. He preserved me. You know what I mean?
oh my God. I'm literally shaking up right now. Uh, yeah, that's definitely what he did. He knew that he had a purpose for you. And if you would have remained out on the street, God forbid, it could have been you. And
Right.
just yesterday, you told me you watched the show with Issa Rebel, the young man who was there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, everybody's being in a rush, basically. And then things just, you miss, say you're in traffic, right? And
Right.
or you're a flat tire and you don't make it to where you were supposed to go on time. God maybe were blocking you for something, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
here it is. This happened to you as a child. Your dad go to prison. Mom is out, in the streets on drugs. And then here it is, you dead in the system.
Right.
God knew he had to preserve you. But under the circle, I mean, put you there. And then this transpired. The two who actually was with you end up, deceased. And here it is now. You're saying you were locked down 23 hours a day. And put, just explain that apart again, because
um. Yeah. I just smiled back, just looking at hindsight. The reason why I smiled, it'd be like, you've been through a lot. I mean, that's nothing to smile about because I learned a lot. I took a lot of positives from it. But but yeah, I believe that when I was there, basically you wake up in the morning, you go, they you go to your door, they get your food, they open the door, you eat your tray, you sit back down in your little table. It's like it's made from steel, and you eat your food and you just sit in the cell, and after you do that, your food come around at 6 o'clock. If you don't wake up early to eat it, it gets cold. And then you should sit back, you eat. If you don't, when you first start, you don't really know the routine. You don't really become, I guess, institutionalized, as they say. So sometimes you just sit there and the food get cold and get soggy or whatever. But when you get kind of used to it, you wake up at that time, your body kind of gets used to that time and that regimen. And you eat your food, boom. You What I like to do is I like to like draw, to kind of burn time until it was school time. And then the school time really wasn't school. They basically handed you a pamphlet, and it had like various different subjects on it and various different topics. It'd be math, it'd be science, it'd be social studies, it'd be world history, different things of that nature. But you wouldn't have nobody to go over anything with you. So it was kind of like you self-taught and read these things. You would read the notes. It would give you a page of, let's say some information on it. And the following page will have some quick answers, question and answers on it. So it wasn't like a whole, it wasn't really a whole lot to it, to be honest. It was like washed down, education. It really wasn't what you should have been giving someone. But at that point, I was considered like a dangerous person to society.
Jesus.
And in their eyes, if I would have been let out, I would have done, you know, even worse things. So, um, excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty much, what I do. And then after that little school session study was over, the first like year, it was real hard because like some of the kids there, some of the I'm not gonna call them inmates, but some of the kids, they got visits, they got family visits. And like that was hard because I didn't get visits. Like I would see them out my cell. I would like watch their cells open up. I would hear the noise, I would hear them like happy. And like for almost 2 years straight, I didn't get no visits. So that kind of, that was kind of a time for me. Like that was kind of a real depressing time. I kept trying to do little things in there to burn time, but that's a lot of time to burn, 23 hours. And the 1 hour that you get to get out is to take a shower and typically to make a phone call. If somebody, could typically you could earn points to get phone calls. Or if you got family, some people, they have people that put money into their phone calls and various different books and things like that. But I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? My mom, like I said, my dad and my oldest sibling was my sister, who was, she was a kid herself. So, I was 16, 17. I didn't have that. So yeah, that's pretty much what the day was. It went like that for, a good while. And then they sent the therapist around, like, every so often, like every once a week or once every other week, to kind of check on your progress and see how you've been coming along. They talk to you, but it takes a while because those people, they're trained that they know that you are what you're deemed to be said you are, so to speak. You know what I mean? Based off of the records and what they tell you. So you just kind of like gotta hope that this is really your only like person to have you be free or, you know, work your time down. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to kind of learn that. And, you know, it took me a good bit of years to really understand that that was my connection to basically being told that I was going to be able to get out to the real world, so to speak. So yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Oh my God. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, but that was one of it had to happen moments.
Hmm.
Because God forbid you got out. That could have been you. What
Oh
happened?
yeah, definitely.
Um,
I'm nothing like I used to be. Nothing at all. Super humble, and I'm nothing like it. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was that person for sure. So, you know, I was
so,
preserved in that aspect.
whew, I'm just going to touch on this just a little bit more because I don't like to stay on the pain. Just a little bit more. So when you first went in, tell us what that was like. How your mental, how did you stay sane?
Okay, so when I first went into the lockdown, the full lockdown, I flew on a plane in handcuffs. And yeah, it was like, I was in like, regular, I guess it's the regular passenger plane, you know what I mean? I just had a police officer with me the whole time. So I flew from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We landed in New Orleans. I mean, we landed in St. Louis, Missouri. And then we swapped planes. And then like I remember all of the people kind of looking at me crazy and like, like it was kind of humiliating, you know what I mean? Um but I just remember everybody just kind of looking at me weird and people kind of like, like not knowing what the hell was going on. And you know, and then I went to Oklahoma. When I went to Oklahoma, I just seen this big, huge building, and it just kind of was like that. And like I said, the first couple months is tough because you don't really, you went from being in the real world kind of or being in group home or foster home where you at least could take a regular shower. You could take it however long you want and you don't have to split the hour into like breaking up into what you want it to be. But in this circumstances, the hour is an hour, and you'd be surprised how fast an hour goes by. So that first hour was like, hey, I need to do everything. So I need to take a 10-minute shower. I need to get my book situation. I need to go and get, they had like a little library. You pick up books and you pick up pencils and little things like that, so that throughout the day, you can have something to do during the other 23 hours in your cell. So
Jesus.
yeah.
So you mean to tell me you had to cram everything in that 1 hour?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yep. Every little thing. They had a little workout. They had like a little workout area and all that. So yeah, but you definitely that hour went by super fast.
So was there ever a time where they gave you like a little bit more time or they just stuck with this hour?
Nah, that was just the facility. There was never like you can't work yourself up to a different class. No. You work yourself out or you just stay until you do your time. But I was lucky. I was blessed to work myself out. It's just when I got out, I violated my probation and got put right back in.
So how many years did you stay inside this? Well, have this 23-1. And
So the first the
23-1
first
people, I'm trying to explain to them. 23-1 is 23 hours locked down, 1 hour out.
right. So it was 3 years at first. And then like I said, the
Wait,
therapist,
wait, 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 wait. 3 years of just
hmm
1 hours out the cell?
yeah, yeah. Did a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, there's a lot of stuff you do in that cell, get time to pass, a lot of artwork, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of stuff to burn
Well,
that time because that's a lot of time.
let me tell you something. If Jeremiah 29:11 is not for anybody else, it's definitely for you. God says, I know the plans I have for you, and they
Mm,
are to prosper you and not harm you.
mm,
That's for you.
mm,
That scripture right there, that's for you. And I may
mm.
put that in my
Amen.
phone under your number, Jeremiah 29:11. Because
Amen. Yeah, please just send it to me. That way I can read it. Thank
I
you.
definitely will. I definitely will. As soon as we get off the show, because I'm telling you, being 3 years locked down for 23 hours and only allowed 1 hour each day to kind of cram everything that I need to do. And by you being in there in that cell, when you go in the shower, who want to take a 10-minute shower after coming out of the
Yeah,
cell? You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But
It
here it is, you had so much more to do.
absolutely, absolutely. It take like 5 minutes for the water to get hot. So yeah, it was yeah. So on top of just being a quick, yeah, definitely. Yep. But I was released though. I was released. And I did work myself out. And after being out for just about a little bit over half the summer, I wound up catching another case selling drugs, and I got rearrested again, violated probation.
Oh wow. And so how long were you locked down that time?
I finished my rest of my sentence, so I got out at 19.
At
Yeah.
19?
Yeah, and I just stayed on probation until I was 21, and I did good. I did good. So obviously, like I told you, that's when I had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of became a regular person in society. I got a job, and because I didn't want to get in no trouble at all with my off time, I work another job. So I worked two full-time jobs. I rode a bicycle every day to work to get to work. So I kind of felt good. I worked for Wendy's, and I worked for a hotel by Marriott. Um, and it kind of consumed my days. So it kind of got me. It was good for me. It kind of got me because my body was already trained and so institutionalized to kind of doing positive things with my time. I was kind of afraid to have off time. I was really afraid to have days off and times off where I just sit around and do nothing. So it helped me. And then, like I said, God had a plan for me. He gave me my beautiful baby girl. So, and I got in touch with my lovable, my feminine, my caring, my fatherly side. And although I didn't have it growing up, I always knew, that I wanted it. So
You know what? That speaks volume right there. You said you always knew that you wanted it, even though you didn't get it.
correct.
You didn't use it as an excuse. Well, I didn't get that, so I don't know how to give it.
Right.
You knew you wanted to have, give that you didn't get. And
Absolutely.
the guy said yesterday, I want to say it right. I think he said the lessons learned are the lessons taught. The best
Hmm.
lessons learned are the lessons that's taught. So here it is, by you being institutionalized and having to deal with the schedule and things like that. Here it is. Now you have structure.
Exactly.
In a foster care, you didn't have structure.
Right.
So
Right.
now I got structure. So now I'm out in society and I know that, here it is. I want a family because it's something that I never had. Basically,
Exactly.
and all together. We always have a family, but not all together, right? And some
Right.
things
Correct.
that transpire. But here it is. Now you're out in society. You're working two jobs, and here it is. You went to school. We skipped over school. You went to college, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you had to drop out because you had this beautiful baby girl. So
Right.
tell
Right.
us about that.
So yeah. I did through following with the program, the steps. They covered me for school because I spent so much time arrested. So they had these little programs, so they can help the people when they get out, stay on the right track and so forth. So they did pay for my schooling, originally, and I went to school and it was cool. I studied, oh my gosh, I majored in science and studied zoology, and I wanted to be a zoologist because, like I said, I would read all of the National Geographic's book, but yeah, I dropped out of school. I had my daughter and my daughter's mom, and she wasn't working at the time, and I knew I needed to, create money and earn money and create money for my family and my apartment. I was mostly excited, to all of the little ambiances of being a father. Like although everyone knows that the first, couple months and the first couple nights is tough. I never had a baby. I never touched a baby in my life. I didn't touch a baby in my life at that point. So I was just like fascinated by every little thing she did. I couldn't wait to change her diaper. I couldn't wait to like play with her little baby toes and lift her up and like watching her grow from a little itty bitty, you know, 12-inch body to a, 18 and 22-inch body. It was just cool for me. So, you know, dropping out of school, although I knew I wanted to have a career, I knew I was necessary. Um, it came second place to her.
Oh my God. I know. Listen, this is so amazing, guys. We're here tonight with Mr. Lewis. And our topic tonight is the life of a single father. And here it is. We heard all about his pain. We jumped right into the pain. We didn't even jump into the journey. We went straight into the pain. And here it is, Mr. Lewis. He did some time in a foster care, went into juvenile detention center, did some time there, came out in society, and became a father. And here it is. He has this beautiful baby girl who you just finished hearing him speak about. And now he has this baby girl. He has his girl, and he's making all the right decisions as far as to take care of his family. So now I'm sure that everyone want to know, how is it that you became a single father?
Okay, so originally I became a single father because me and my daughter's mom, we had troubles. Um, I really don't know what really began the troubles. I don't really know originally. She had a lot of she struggled a lot in life too in her youth. Her parents were killed, and she had a lot of struggles. So mentally, she was having a lot of struggles every day, and psychologically. So I think it just became a wear on both of us, and we decided to separate. Um, about 5 years, and my daughter was like 5 years old. She started hanging around the wrong crowd. Although we were separated already, she started hanging around the wrong crowd and got into drugs, got into using marijuana, and it just grew from there. But I think what originally happened, we was together till my daughter was about 4 or just about 5 years old. Um, we were together and we struggled a lot. There was a lot of arguments and fights, and there was a whole lot of that, around my daughter. And it just wasn't the environment that I knew I wanted for my child. It was just very unhealthy. And
Mm,
and it was time for us to separate. So she separated. I helped her get her little apartment on the other side of town, and my daughter stayed with her during the week, and on the weekends she would stay with me at first, and then eventually, she wound up getting in with this group of people, like I said, and they wound up she wound up becoming a part of this little gang, and she never would be around. So I had my daughter. I got her, and I took care of my daughter. I had to change my schedule. I worked with her grandparents, and I worked at nights, and during the daytime, because my daughter was so young, I would keep her with me for a little while, of course, until she started school. And then kindergarten came, and that kind of helped me out. So I was able to change my schedule and kind of juggle the schedule with my daughter and everything. Being a single father, I went back to college at that time frame, and I went to college at night from like 6 p.m. to like 10 p.m. at a technical college. And so during the day, I would take my daughter to school. I would wake up super early, and then in the afternoon, I would get her. I would drive all the way across town because her grandparents lived like a good 45 minutes away from me. I would drive her all the way across town, drop her off, then speed all the way to school, try to get my school, and then get off at 10 o'clock and drive another 45 minutes back to their house, go get her. Sometimes I would crash at their place, and sometimes I would go back to my place because her school was right around the corner from my house. So it was just like boom, 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 and that went on for like 2 years. And her mother, we wouldn't hear from her for months at a time, and we wouldn't hear from her, for a decent amount of time. So that's kind of how the single father journey began.
wow. So here it is. You guys broke up for a while. No, broke up after your daughter was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And then here it is. Child was going backwards and forth between both homes. And you end up keeping your daughter full time, being the sole, provider for her.
Correct.
And unfortunately, your daughter's mother ended up in the street out on
Correct.
drugs because,
Correct.
you said something too about she dealt with so much in her past.
She did.
And
Unfortunately, she had a struggle as a youth too. A lot of struggles, unnecessary struggles. Yep.
you see that? And that's the thing. Sometimes, and this is so good that you mentioned that, because the thing is, sometimes one can handle certain things and some can't.
Right.
And here it is, you are locked down 23 hours a day, and you stood in the pain and you learned the lessons from it, right? But
Right.
here it is, her pain overtook her.
Right.
It was something probably just was so unbearable to her, to that was probably all that she knew. And that, by her joining the game, probably that's what she thought was love, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 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 Yes. It was the beginning parts of her downfall to a lot more troublesome, after those years that she got herself into. But absolutely though, that was it. You hit it on the head. My brother, he a big supporter. He always tells me too of mine. He always tells me, he's like, bro, if most people would have been through what you've been through, they would be like crazy right now. They would lose their mind. They would, he tells me that all the time. He like, bro, you so humble, man. He'll tell me that. So hearing you say that about how the difference is how what people would go through and how some of the battles they would lose and how some of the battles some people would win. It just touch home because my brother says that a lot too.
And that's now said on previous shows. We sometimes miss the signs when people is really crying out for help, right? And it could have been that what she was doing, she was really crying out for help, but
Oh
not
yeah,
really, the people that was around her, not saying you, but the people who she was entangled with, they
right,
probably didn't understand. They thought that okay, she just being down or whatever. But here it
right.
is, just like when a child be bad, what happens? What we say? Oh, that child is so bad.
Yeah, they a bad kid.
We're back here, right? But not
Right.
knowing that in the midst of that, they could be crying out for help
Oh yeah,
and just don't
oh
know
yeah,
how to ask for it. You know,
exactly.
and again, one may know how to handle some things better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, look at the young man who just passed away, committed suicide, Twitch or Ellen show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Did you see how much joy he brought to people? He bringing so much joy to people on through the TV, but here it is. What was happening behind
Inside.
closed doors
Right.
when he got
Right.
alone with himself? You know, he may have showed some signs to certain people. That's why it's great to have people around you with a spirit of discernment that could pick up some things, right?
Right.
But God bless his soul. And we can all speculate and say what could have, should have, what could have happened,
Right.
but we don't know. We don't know. So some miss the signs and some catch the signs. And unfortunately, drugs got a hold of her. The gang got a hold of her, and it caused her to spiral down.
Yep.
And by her going, and that's another thing, the enemy comes for the mind. And when he get that mind, he got you. You know,
Man,
so
you ain't lying about that. The mental battle is the present, the beginning portion of the battle.
that's it. And especially 2020, since 2020, when this COVID thing came out,
Yeah.
all of us, every last person is dealing with some type of mental illness.
Yep.
The reason why I say that is because think about it. You're used to being out. I told you when we spoke, I'm not an outside person,
Right.
but a lot of people, love the outside, or maybe have to go to work, or maybe just escape, maybe just to say, okay, well, I get to leave the house to go to work. Some people need a break from their kids.
Right. Her.
Honestly speaking,
Yeah, definitely,
you
definitely.
need a break from your kids. So here it is. Now you're locked down. You can't do this. You can't do that. And some people don't even like being told what they can and cannot do. So
Exactly,
think
exactly.
about it.
COVID was crazy.
You can't leave. You can't go to work, or you got to work from home, or just so many. I won't say a mental illness. Let me just rephrase that. So we're dealing with some type of mental, that we need. I think therapy for, because again, nobody want to kind of like this thing with COVID. You just don't know.
Right.
Every time you turn around, they telling you a different variant came out. Not just a different variant, but to get the shot here, not to get the shot. This another booster, and
Yep.
just so much. So definitely we have to protect our mind. But here
Right.
it is, your daughter's mother. Okay, she was out there. She joined the gang. Here it is. She got involved with with drugs, and that's another thing I say too. You start out with one drug, and
Oh
you
yeah.
get that high, and then you want that next high. Or maybe you keep with smoking it and it's not giving you the high that you want, then you move to the next thing.
Right.
Jesus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like during those time frames, I still struggled with her because I wanted my daughter to still have a relationship with her mother. So although everybody in my family was like, no, you can't let her see her. You got to block her. You got to keep her away from her. It's going to ruin her. I knew that there was a portion of my daughter's and her mother's relationship life as when she was when she was in her youth, that they had a lot of good times and it was good. And she was a good parent and she was a good co-parent and she did a lot of fun things with her. So I knew I knew that person. So I didn't want to just be like, take that away from my daughter because there was times that they had that was good in the past. So I would still let her visit her once in a while. I didn't want to take that away from her. I would still let her see her, on the weekends, not every weekend, but, when I felt like she was clean and or doing something positive, or something like that, I would still let her see her. I would still let her visit her, different things like that. But um, there was a portion when she started doing really good for like maybe like 2 years. And being an electrician, for 2 years, I was on the road. I was like, she's doing good. Yeah, I could get, she could go back with her mom for a little while because my daughter was staying with me, and it was beginning to get tough because I had a job that now needed me to be on the road. I became a supervisor. It allowed me to have more money, but it also required me to have more responsibilities. With those responsibilities, I had to be on the road and manage different crews. So my daughter would come on the road with me and stay in the hotels. And sometimes my nieces would come to kind of they would keep each other company. But in reality, it was just her in the hotel room. So that was kind of a lot on me. So I was like, let me see how her mom doing. So we was always in contact, so I knew how she was doing. So during those 2 years, I gave her, I let her mom take care of her for a little while, just about from like 7 to 9, just about.
Here it
So
is now. You that says a lot about you. You know why? Because you spoke about your mom earlier in the earlier part of the broadcast, and you
mhm,
were saying about your mom and how you knew that she had this, illness. She had a lot she was dealing with, and now here it is, your baby mother or your mother of your child
right,
comes up, kind of like in, going down the same path.
same path, yeah, same path. It's even crazy that you brought that up. Not to cut you off, Erica, but there was times where I would talk to my mother over the phone, and I would hang up the phone with her, and I would talk to my daughter's mother, and it would sound like the same person because they both had patterns in their speech, even though they came from two completely different parts of the world, two completely different lifestyles. The drug was the connection, and the patterns in their speech. I was sometimes like, yeah, just to check at the phone and make sure I was talking to the right person, because like you said, it was very similar, and drugs can do that. They really destroy people.
Let me tell you something. What I'm sitting here getting. Thank you, Holy Spirit. In the midst, hallelujah, in the midst of your mom going through, God was preparing you for what you was about to encounter with your daughter's mother. Had not you experienced that with your mother, you wouldn't have knew how to handle it when you had to deal with it with your child's mom, with your daughter's
Right,
mother.
right.
So you are being, I'm going to send you that scripture. I'm telling you, Jeremiah
Yeah,
29 and
please.
11 for
Yeah,
you. It's for you. Because I'm telling you, if you didn't, you understand? Even in the pain, even in the most uncomfortablest place, God was doing some work in you.
right.
He was
Yeah, absolutely.
preparing you for later on, knowing what he was getting ready, what you were getting ready to go through. So
Right.
here it is now. You have to deal with this with your daughter's mother. You dealt with it with your mother, but you were so forgiving.
Hmm.
You know, I'm telling you, I'm a mother. So here it is. If the shoe was on the other foot, I can't say, and I'm just being honest. And again, I said me, I can't say that I would have allowed my child that opportunity.
Right. A lot of people
Because
said
see,
it. A lot of people. Yep.
you
A
you
lot of
know,
families said the same thing. Absolutely.
and that's why God deals with us separately in
Right.
different ways.
Right.
Because I can say that now, back then when I wasn't saved, oh yeah, no, no.
Right.
being though I know who God is now, I would have just had to entrust that the Father would do the right thing.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Not saying that I
Absolutely.
will allow it, to go on a lot, but
Right.
again, this is what I can say, but again, each one of us may handle it different. And the way that you handle it, that's because you are being prepared back then. Our
Absolutely.
God is awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, he's awesome. And see,
He is.
that's why I love the topic that he gave me, Louis, that it had to happen. Let me tell you something. That right there says a
It
lot.
says a lot. It says a lot. Yeah, I was talking to my brother about it yesterday. I was like, yo, this a clever phrase for any show. Like it's just crazy the name because it really is it's a lot in that. It could mean all kinds of stuff, but it really had to happen. It's crazy.
Exactly. And it's, and this is what people don't understand. The it's is the trials, the tribulations, right?
Mhm.
But the thing is, when that it happened to you, you don't understand it at the time. It
Right
don't make
now.
sense to you at the time. I just want to get up out this thing, right? I don't want to deal with this it. I don't want to go through this. But how could a purpose be birthed if it don't go through anything?
Right.
We carry a baby for 9 months, sometimes six. I had my oldest son at 6 months, right?
I remember you
But
told me.
yeah, so here it is,
It came out 1 pound, right? I remember
1
correctly.
pound, 12 ounce.
Crazy. That's crazy.
One
Crazy.
pound, 12 ounce. Yep, Christmas baby. Louis, I didn't even
Mm.
make it to the hospital. I had him in my mom's bed. So, yeah, so by the grace of God, he's still here. He's 35 years old and doing amazing. I am so proud of him. He has his own trucking company, like I was telling you, but he's doing amazing. But the thing is, we're carrying a baby. We're birthing something. Our body going through changes. We're being prepared to become a mother. So here it is. God was preparing you for what you're doing now. Because when you stood in my living room and told me about your daughter, the way you lit up, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I got to have him on my show. I have to have him on my
That's
show.
my baby.
And
That's
here,
my
let me
baby.
tell you guys something. Lewis is now filming from his car. Tell us why.
Yeah, so my baby girl, she inside the skating ring with her friend. They having a birthday party, and I don't have very many friends down here because like I'm not from this area. So I didn't want her to miss out, and I didn't want to also miss out on the show. So she in there having fun with her friends and enjoying the birthday party and celebration and so forth. So I'm just sitting outside the skating ring, just chilling.
Let me tell you something. That's something the mother would do. That's something.
Just
You're
chilling.
so amazing. Let me tell you, this is so awesome. And not just that, you're sitting outside while she's enjoying herself. I remember when you came to do, guys, Lewis is a certified electrician.
Right.
Okay. And it's so,
License. Yeah.
oh, Lewis, I'm gonna blow your mind right here because oh my God, look, I can't even be still. You came to my home, you entered my home before I did.
Hmm.
No, 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 no. No, I came to look at the house.
Hmm.
And here it is. You came to the home to do some work in the home, right?
Hmm. Correct.
Got in the home and had some respiratory issues.
Hmm.
Had not that happened, we
We
wouldn't have
never
never
met.
met.
Nah, I never met. Right.
Glory to God. So it had to happen.
It had to happen. Amen.
And it was so amazing when I called you on the phone. And something led me to asking my realtor, who did the work? Can I
Hmm.
get the receipt? Right?
Right.
Got the receipt. And I said, well, let me call. And here it is. I called and you said what you said. And it was like, whoa. And for you to get me on the schedule when you did, guys, he was booked and busy. Okay. He said,
Right.
well, I'll make sure I get to you before I leave. And I just really want to say thank you.
You're
I
welcome. How
truly,
you how
truly
you been doing? How's everything? The atmosphere and
amazing.
everything. Yeah, nice.
But outside, whatever Atlanta having, they air
Right.
amazing. But I can say all of it, breathing better, not much stuffiness, none of that.
Good.
And he came in here, guys. He put me on the schedule. He came out and he did the work, and we just began to talk. And I don't know if it was the first time or the second time. Y'all, he could sing too. I'm like, hold on. No, I think that was the second time you came back because you had to do the downstairs.
Mhm.
And so here it is. I'm listening. I'm like, hold on, is he out there singing? And he was just singing and he was just working. But let me tell you something. If you're in the Atlanta area, he is a certified electrician.
Yeah.
Tell us about your business.
All right, so I'm licensed in the state of Georgia. I own an LLC in the state of Georgia. I'm insured, I'm bonded, so everything comes with a warranty. But yeah, my name of my business is electrified solutions.co, and you can find me on Google. You can find me on Angie's Leads. Um, and I'm available. Like I said, you can make appointments. But that's my business. I'm mainly an electrician, but because I have a ton of different skill set. I do home vent duct cleaning, appliance repairs, lighting installation, repairs and replacements. Um, there's a number of various handyman things, shelving installation. I hang pictures, TV mounting. I put together furniture, but the first and foremost, I'm a licensed electrician. I do contract work. I set venues up for people downtown, all kind of stuff. I have a crew of people that work for me. So absolutely, the name of my company is Electrified Solutions. You can
You
find me
didn't
on
tell me
Google.
that. You
Oh
didn't
yeah,
tell me that you had a
well, yeah, I did. I guess I don't know. I just humble. I guess I don't know.
you did not tell me that you guys set up, okay?
Yeah,
That
yeah, we
part
said.
you missed that part. But see, y'all, listen. He gonna try to get all my money, y'all. I'm telling you. You heard all the things that he say he do. He just is going down the list. And let me tell you what he came and did for me. He cleaned all of my AC vents. And the owner before me actually had a cat in the home, so all that was like real bad for us. But here it is, he came in and he did the job, y'all, and the breathing just was so easy breezy after that, you know. So again, I said thank you. So again, guys, if
I'm so happy to hear
you
it. That's the ultimate pleasure I get, just seeing you being happy genuinely. I know you could breathe better, you sound better. I mean, that first call, it was crazy. You might have been on a microphone or something. I could barely hear you. So it's I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm telling you because it was rough, and I kept saying like, hold on. They said they did that. Here it is. But you know what? That was my fault because I should have really checked into that because that was one of my main concerns, Louis, about this house. That cat
Right,
was in here.
right.
I slipped. I dropped the ball on that. However, but guys, we're here tonight with Louis. He is a single father of a beautiful 13-year-old.
13, yeah,
We
she's
have a
13 now.
teenager, y'all.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because this teenager stuff is tough, and the journey in life is just unpredictable. The journey in life is really, really, it's just you never really know. You don't know what's gonna happen. So like when she was young, I was her best. She loved me. I was boom. I was death. Now she's reaching her little teenage adolescence, and she want her hair done and her nails and stuff. And I'm just like dad. I'm not, hey dad, hey dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, hey dad. It's kind of like that, but it's cool. And it's just part of the journey of being a father. You know what I'm saying? But I love her. I love her absolutely. I adore her. Love her. It's a lot. There's still a lot of things I cherish about it. I just love those little ages though. I miss the little 4-year-olds and 5-year-old, three. I miss those ages, but I love this too.
Oh my God, that is so awesome. Let me tell you. Because I remember when you were here the first night doing the work, right? And you was like, oh, can I come back? Because I have to go get my daughter.
Right.
I'm like, what did I say?
He was like, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No
Right,
brainer. Here it is.
right,
I'm a single mom, so I
right,
understand. There's no way I could have told you, no, you can't go.
right,
No, 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 no.
right.
No. So amazing. I'm telling you, when you talked about your daughter, tell us your daughter name. Tell us a little bit about her.
So my daughter's name is Carolina Oyola Gonzalez, and she's half Puerto Rican and half black, because I'm half Puerto Rican, half black. Her mother is full blown Puerto Rican. So she has a Spanish name, and that's her name. But she goes by Lulu because my name is Lewis, and she goes by Lulu. Um, yeah, it's my baby.
Oh, look at
I
that
just, I just,
smile.
I was just smiling, just think about it, because we was just talking to her friend when she came out here. She was like, "What's your real name?" And she's been knowing her for a good minute, but everyone knows her as Lulu, and
Mhm.
not a lot of people know her real name. Her full name is Carolina. So
Oh my God. Well, you see, Mr. Christopher, he says, I still do my daughter's hair. Look at his comment.
yeah,
He said, I
yeah,
still
I
do
did
my
see
daughter's
that.
hair. And she's 8, fam.
Now, see, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. The same thing. I do it too. I still do her hair. I don't do all of the little stuff because now it gets complicated. I could get away. I used to get away with the little plaits and the barrettes being one to the side, one over here, or straighten, but straightening out her hair. But now she's just like, Dad, part it and I'll braid it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll part
Really?
it. You could braid it. Yeah, 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 yeah. She'll still let me part it. Still let me grease her scalp and stuff. But yeah, she'll do it for sure.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
big ups, big ups. Krista, big ups.
Yeah, he said he's been on the single dad tip 5 years. I know the struggle and respect the grind. My Norman says nothing like a daughter dad relationship. You are talented and blessed. Yes,
Thank you,
he
Norman.
is, Mom. He really got your daughter, and that's my bonus mom. So
Thank you.
he did a very good job for me. And then Christopher says you gotta level up.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
I'll tell you
And
what.
thank you too, Norm.
I could pay it for it. I don't know about doing no hair. Even though I'm a woman, I don't know nothing about doing no hair. But I definitely she could go with me to get our nails done because that's me all day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she love it, get pampered. You gotta treat yourself. She
Definitely.
learning. She learning that.
Uh-huh. Okay, so all right, we heard about the journey. Guys, I'm telling you, y'all wasn't in here earlier. You have to go back and rewatch this broadcast because you have to go back and rewatch this broadcast because let me tell you something. Here it is. He had a story that I knew nothing about. We spoke about it before, but didn't tell me all the details to it. But here it is. Look at that. We spoke about the hour, Lewis. We don't went by at 6:54 already.
Crazy,
This is
crazy, crazy.
crazy, And again, um, I'm gonna put you back on schedule for next. What works for you, Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday. I'm sorry, I was just reading a message from
I
Christopher.
ended up going to cosmetology and barber school to keep that bond. She got me on
That's
do
what's up.
edges.
Same here, bro. Same here. I can't do the edges that good though, but yeah, definitely.
So the thing is, I have another guest at 7 o'clock that I have to go prepare for. But I'm
Okay.
telling you, next Thursday, wait, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on. I don't think I have nobody next Thursday, but I want to make sure. Next Thursday. What is next Thursday date?
Oh,
The 12th. The 12th.
okay, the 12th, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
when you get off the show, Lewis, go back in and book for the 12th so I could bring
Okay.
you back for the part 2 because what I want
Okay.
to do is I don't want them to wait too long to finish your story
Right,
because we
right,
talked
right,
about, we didn't talk about the journey. We went straight on into the pain, right?
right.
And then we just got we spoke about that hour and look, we crammed this
That's
real
crazy.
quick. But
That's
here it
crazy.
is. Guys, let me tell you before we go, Lewis had to cram everything in 1 hour. If you want to know why, how or why, go back and rewatch this broadcast because I'm telling you, the beginning of his story is nothing less of amazing. You have to listen to it. So, Lewis, if you had someone under the sound of your voice and they may be a single mother or a single dad, what would be your words of encouragement to them?
Honestly, only thing I could really say is just love on them. You know what I'm saying? Like life is too short. Just love on them. Don't take it for granted. Don't cherish the moments. And that's really, that's really all it is. Just love on them, because they grow up so fast, and that's really all it is. That's really keep it short and simple. You know what I mean?
Well, when we come back, guys, for our part 2, I'm going to tell you how Lewis was. Well, no, I'm not going to tell you. Lewis is going to tell you how he was awarded for being a single father. And when he sent me the story, guys, It literally blew my mind. So when we come back for the part 2, we're going to talk about the award. I'm going to have more pictures. I'm going to upload the pictures so you guys can see from when she was little all the way up until now. He shared some beautiful pictures with me, but you have to come back for part 2. So Lewis, thank you so very much for
Thank you.
accepting the invitation. You know you got to come back since you're back in town. You have to come
Absolutely.
back and we'll talk. And I'm definitely going to send you that Jeremiah 29:11. If I don't
Please.
do it after,
Please.
because I have another show after this. If I don't do it, text me and say,
I'll
remember?
remind you.
Yeah, please
Absolutely.
do. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But again, it's been such an honor. And I thank you
Absolutely.
so very much for
It was a
accepting
pleasure.
it.
Thank you. Thank you this evening. Thank you. You're very inspirational. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good night. Take care of yourself. God bless you.
God bless you. Y'all, he's so humble. Do y'all see how humble he is? And he always has something good to say. I'm telling you, if I didn't know no better, I think you was trying to just make me feel good. How about that? No, he's such a
Take care of
humble
yourself.
guy. Thank you so much, Louis.
Thank you. Thank
Guys,
you. Thank
wait,
you. Thank
before
you.
we go,
God
Louis,
bless you.
we have to send him out some virtual hugs
Oh,
and
yes. Yes.
some
Yes.
virtual love. Because guys,
Thank
we
you.
love
Thank you.
you here at
Thank
It
you.
Had
Take
to
care.
Happen. God bless you. Until next time, guys, come back. I have my nephew here, and he's going to be talking about college life. And listen, to get him on this show, listen, you guys have to tune in. Come right back and visit us. Until next time, God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Erica's empowering empire. 88 blessings soar movement. It had to happen in a beauty so rare. We'd love for you to join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It had to happen with Erica Wilson. Following our social media.